The point I have to make is they're mine. Doesn't really matter. What matters is I made a decision, and that was that. I stood steadfast in my actions no matter what.
The biggest difference though, from running a mortgage business to running a real estate business is one is like heavily reliant, correct me if I'm wrong, on referrals and relationships. The other one, you can say somewhat similar, but there has to be like a hunter mindset where somebody's like more outbound, right?
Yeah, certainly. I completely agree with you.
Yeah. Was that a harder shift, or did you go in there knowing, well, probably did, you had a little bit of understanding of this?
You know, I am uniquely blessed to be in a position where I understand a hyper pragmatic approach to all things that I do. Mm-hmm. So when we decided to get into this field, you know, as agents, one of the first thing I did was I just researched, what is it really like? Mm-hmm. What are the ups? What are the downs? What's the in-betweens? And then I accepted it. And I think a lot of realtors have a very hard time accepting that you're going to work with a client for 7 months and then you're going to call them one day and they're going to buy a house with someone else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So for me, it's like, dude, all these things are going to happen, good, bad, and different. Why are you so surprised? Mm-hmm. So I don't get shocked by things that happen like that. And the ones that are super crazy, all right, I'm going to have a little bit of a 5-minute pity party, but then I'm going to just get up and keep hustling. Yeah. But I think that's the mindset from, again, starting my first company at 17 years old. Mm-hmm. So like I've always had this kill what you eat mindset, and that's forced me to accept the truth of what it is to be an entrepreneur as opposed to the Instagram depiction of what it is to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah. No, I like that. That's well said.
Yeah.
Can you walk us through your journey from starting it from inception? Like what were some of the infrastructure parts that you put into play till where you guys are now?
You know, the first thing that I did was I realized that I'd never been a real estate agent before, and I accepted that. So the very first move I made was I said to myself, I understand branding and marketing. I do not understand how to be a realtor. I need to find a way to get business from people that already understand the real estate process, but haven't had success. Because I believe that marketing is what most people are missing when they don't have success selling their home. So I said, well, what should I do? I'm just going to call expired listings. They partnered with an agent. It didn't work out. They learned the process. Why didn't it work out? Most of the time it's marketing. So all I got to do is say, okay, let me show you how we market. So in Maryland, you got to be a solo agent for 3 years before you can start a team. So or a team agent, whatever. You just can't be a team leader, right? That was the first approach. So Monday through Friday for 1 year straight, I committed 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock. I'm calling expired listings. That's it. Monday through Friday, 8 to 10, no breaks, no days off. Christmas doesn't matter. And I mean that, like every single Monday through Friday for a year. I also committed to 2 to 4 open houses per month for an entire year. I said, this is how I'm going to build my business. And then I said, look, those are going to be my hustle pillars. I need a top of mind pillar. So I said, I'm going to get good at this video stuff. I'm going to get good at social media. I'm just going to keep putting myself out there. I had a lot of people look at me and say, oh man, Phil's a realtor now. Yeah. You're damn right I am. Right? Oh, Phil this, Phil that. Yes. And I'm proud of it. Like, I'm not here to hide anything. I'm here to say, watch me, like watch my journey, not watch me like from an egotistical standpoint, but instead watch my actual journey. In fact, I teach people now, if you're thinking like, how can I get top of mind with people? Get big on social, journaling your journey. Just journal your journey. Show people every aspect of what you're doing, your wins and your losses. Because I believe we live in a world where people love to root on an underdog. They want you to win. It's only when you've won that they want to tear you down.
It's true.
So so journal the journey. Let people be your advocate for success. I started that route my first year. I sold 38 homes. I did 12 million in volume and around 300,000 in GCI. My second year, I sold 64 homes, did 550,000 in GCI. Third year, it was like 132 with like just over $1 million in GCI and 41 million sold. So those numbers are like, man, like I blow those numbers out of the water, Phil, or I wish I could do those numbers. The point I have to make is they're mine. Doesn't really matter. What matters is I made a decision, and that was that. I stood steadfast in my actions no matter what.
Yeah.
And I think that that's the hardest part for a lot of folks to get right now in real estate. Like I understand we live in a microwavable mentality mindset right now. I understand that like if it doesn't pop in 3 minutes, we act like the microwave's broken. But the reality to it is this takes work, and all you need is a commitment to the work over and over and over again. So figure out what is my system going to be and then commit to it no matter what until you've achieved it. And for the person that says, well, it's getting hard, it's supposed to be. The person that says, I'm thinking about quitting, my advice to you is wait till you achieve your goal and then decide if it's still worth quitting.
Yeah.
Like, don't quit on your way up. Quit when you've done it. If you feel like I've done it and I don't want to do it anymore, quit. But I got a funny feeling once you've achieved your goal, you're going to be like, dude, let's get some more.
Yeah.
Like, where can I go from here? So
That's solid.
Well said.
yeah.
So then after year 3, you hit the $1 million GCI. At that point in time, when did it come to mind where you're like, all right, I'm going to start a team and I'm going to start scaling this?
Yeah. So year 4, we started a team. The whole mindset with the team was, look, I know what I can do. Let me see if I can transfer my skills. I get that I have figured this out for myself, but for me, like being such a service-based mindset person, it didn't mean as much to me until I could prove to myself that I could transfer those skills to other people. And it was really neat because, man, those first few years of having a team, like watching people that had like minor success blow up or brand new to the industry blow up. It was just like, this is amazing. Not only can we teach people to do it, but we can pick the right people that will actually do the work.
Yeah.
Right.
And yeah, everyone doesn't stay with you, but that's not what it's about, man. It's about just watching people succeed so that they can live out their successes and being happy for them in the process.
Yeah. If my math serves me right, the time you started the team was around 2020. So
Say again?
Was that 2020 when you started the team?
Goodness, 17, 18, 19. Yeah, it was 2020.
So then that was the beginning of the pandemic. So now you were doubling into a team with the pandemic in mind too. So that you had that as a obstacle as well. What were some of the struggles that you faced in that year?
None.
Okay. I like that.
None, literally. And here's the reason why. Hyper pragmatic approach to everything I do. What I realized was some brokerages closed for up to 6 months. I was blown away by that. We closed for 2 weeks on my team. I had my own office. Okay. We closed for 2 weeks. Now, we didn't close for 2 weeks because we were told we need to figure things out. We closed for 2 weeks because I said, I'm going to figure things out. I built, I think it was like a 7-page COVID manual on how we would work during COVID all year. And then we showed back up and we went to freaking work. So what I realized was the speed of the leader is the speed of the team.
Right.
So if I said, guys, let's pump the brakes, like everybody, the world's going to turn off, then that's what my team was going to do. But instead I said, guys, we can do this. Everyone else is going to pump the brakes. Let's figure out how to safely do this and serve folks. Because no matter what was going on in the world, people still need a place to lay their head. We just needed to learn and figure out and build the systems to help them accomplish that as safely as we possibly could.
Right.
And we had some stringent protocols. I mean, like we did not play games with this, but I just didn't see the need to check out for 6 months. Instead, I said, we have got people to serve. We have a job to do. Let's build a plan. Don't rush the plan. It took a solid 2 weeks, but then we showed back up and we killed it that year. Killed it.
That's great.
Yeah.
John was at my house every single day. That's how we dealt with that.
I forgot. Yeah.
He would be yelling at my neighbors. There was this one old guy that was smoking cigars the whole time, like literally right in the balcony next to me.
Yeah.
And then he would just be like, stop it.
Because we couldn't go to the office,
We
right?
couldn't go to the office. They closed down the building. Or we weren't allowed to technically be in there, which was interesting. So we didn't stop. We just kept showing up together. And then I think we copied.
You just find a way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. So with the teams, I guess one of the biggest struggles that happen is one, leadership is not the same as sales skills. A lot of people who think that they have good sales skills think they can be leaders, and it's the complete, it's farthest thing from the truth. What are some things that you, or how did you take that approach? Is that,
How did you transition into a leader?
You know, I think leadership it's rooted in a few different things. And yes, I understand sales and I understood sales. I've been in sales since I was 15 years old. And I think that leaders are consistently groomed for leadership, whether they realize it's happening or not. I mean, I remember in high school, the first inkling of, wow, I could actually be a leader came from a guidance counselor whose name, I feel terrible, I don't remember her name, but it was like 10th grade. And she came up to me and she said, you know what? You're just going to be an incredible leader one day. And it was out of the blue. Like I'm walking down the hallway. Now, I don't remember her name, but I can picture her face. And I remember distinctively her just coming up to me and sharing that. And then she walked away, but it never left me. So I think making that transition in leadership is understanding that leadership comes from a state and a place of empathy first. It really, really does, because I can want to lead you and I can truly have your best interest in mind. But if I'm not willing to be empathetic to where you are, the place you are now, the places you want to go, where your mind is, your heart is, and every aspect of life right now, then I'm not leading you, I'm pushing you. And there's a difference.
Yeah.
So I think leadership first comes from a state of empathy. And then the second thing is you have to just kill your ego. And I don't mean you like, don't be arrogant and things like that, because that's a typical ego play. But I mean like, feel better about success for someone else than you feel about success for you. And that's when you're really becoming a leader. And then the next thing I would say is listen, like really listen to people. Don't listen with the intention of speaking. Listen with the intention of understanding, which I think a lot of people that call themselves leaders just don't do that, because you must know the best. You're the leader, you're in charge, so you must know the best. Well, look, you might know the best, you might know the most, but it might also not be the best or the most for the person you're talking with, because you're not understanding their perspective. And that leans right back, it circles back to empathy.
Yeah.
So Phil Jones told me empathy, his definition is caring about what the people you care about care about. Like when you can do that with no bias, when you can truly care about what the people you care about with no bias, just eliminating your own perspective, I think you're on your way. I think that's really where leadership steps in.
Yeah.
And then the last part I would give you guys is being willing to sacrifice, because the leaders sacrifice every single day. I've been a sports coach. I just stopped coaching about a year and a half ago, but I coached for 19 years.
Wow.
What did you coach?
From soccer, baseball, basketball, football, all of it. And one rule that I learned was the kids never actually had to come to the games, but I did. And just accepting that the leader always has to show up.
Yeah.
Cut and dry. The leader's got to be there. I'm not taking a vacation in July in the middle of the season.
Yeah.
Just not doing it. Now, look, half the kids ain't going to be there, but I'm going to be there. It's just the leader has to show up.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That is, I like the way you broke it down. It's resonates very, 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 very well.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So what are some things you guys are doing in your business this year? Like us, I imagine your market and your business has changed this year a little bit. What are some things you guys are doing this year that's working?
Recruiting. I think that's the biggest thing. We're making such a strong effort to recruit more agents. I think that we're in this unique place where agents are looking for a proper fit. I think agents are becoming wiser to getting sold a bill of goods, and they want to know that they're somewhere where they're actually going to have the potential to grow. They're going to get consistent training, and they are cared about. They're more than a number on a team or in a brokerage. So we are spending a ton of energy, a ton of time recruiting. The other thing that we actually were just yesterday, I was talking with my marketing director about, is we're just getting back to focusing on controlling the market. And controlling the market for us comes from owning the listings. So like, how do we get back to owning listings and focusing on that? And then the last part is we are giving back to agents in big ways. And one of those ways is like with our media manager, he's shooting all video content, one big day of batch shooting every single month. So where you give professional video content to our agents that they can promote and build their brand around. Like a lot of real estate teams I found, it's like, I'm the team leader, so you're going to see me.
Right.
I don't want to be that person. You're going to see me because I'm going to put out my own content,
Right.
but I want to build agent content. I want to build an agent's tribe, because the reality is your people are going to work with you. They're not going to work. They were never going to work with me. So why am I trying to convince them to work with me, as opposed to teach you how to show them that you know what you're doing enough so that they trust you to work with you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need to be the star of the show. I just want one of my folks to be the star of the show.
So that's solid. I like that.